So, Tim, the first thing I noticed is you got a whole new setup going here.
I got a new setup. I got the home uniform on. I'm obviously flying the Broadway blue shirts up top, the Metropolitans down low. I'm sitting at home. Escaped from Alcatraz, reverse style. So I did the reverse Pliskin into New York City, sweating my what's up. But it's a big day. I'm actually getting a haircut tonight.
Come on. So that's
Dude,
why you got that hat on. So maybe before the end of this little vignette, you can show the audience what you got going in terms of your.
The COVID keg party going on in the back is off the charts. But I feel like I look a little bit like Jake DeGrom before he cut his hair. So it makes me happy.
But before we talk about the market, can I just say that the DeGrom prior to the haircut was just an abomination. Never, I don't care. He could strike out 27 guys a game, and he couldn't pitch for the Yankees based on that hair alone.
I get it. And guess what? The Yankees have that clean cut, no mustaches, no facial hair. And that means that they're good guys, right? It means that they're absolutely great men, and there's nothing wrong with their personality. Come on, dude. Don't go. The DeGrominator won the Cy Young with hair that looked like Cousin It. So, I mean, you can't go after him. You can't.
By the way, the Addams family, I got to tell you something. I had a lot of time. Okay, so here you go. Given the choice, you're on your desert island, okay? You got your TV.
Maryland.
You can no. You can only watch the Munsters or the Addams family. What are you taking?
Oh, wow. First of all, I have trouble. I mean, I mixed them up. I think the Addams family. I mean, I think Tish was not only speaking French, but Gomez? Is that? Yeah.
Gomez Addams, sure. John Astin, I believe.
John Astin. I found both of those shows, even as a younger guy, really annoying. But my guess is people are finding this conversation annoying. Let's talk about the market, because today was a kind of a scary day and kind of a great day all at once. I mean, NASDAQ goes to fresh highs. Anything that's industrial or late cycle cyclical, or possibly early cycle cyclical, getting hammered. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I do know, and I don't know. What I do know is people are just flocking to technology. A lot of for the right reasons. I mean, clearly there are a lot of winners in technology, but you're talking about stocks that if you just put a reasonable valuation are completely blown out to the upside. But maybe in this environment that makes sense. But the dichotomy, the chasm between the Dow and the NASDAQ, it's staggering. I mean, again,
well, I'll tell you what it is. It's about 24% after today. And the divergence between growth and value from a valuation perspective is also, and there's many different ways you can define this, but I'm going by what a couple of the strategists on the streets have talked about. You're around 900 basis points between those valuations. So the question I ask you is, do you stay with the new normal? That clearly is the investment decision for investors right now, because anything that is COVID proof or COVID beneficiary, with COVID being the benefactor. People always screw up those words, by the way. Beneficiary, benefactor. So I did that correctly.
Well done.
I think you stay with the new normal trade. I know Jim Cramer's been talking about that. Why bang your head against the wall against things that are working in terms of stay-at-home, DIY, housing trends, you name it, but anything industrial not working.
No, and maybe it is that simple. I mean, to play the devil's advocate, at some point this has to reconcile itself. And I think the bull camp hope it reconciles with the Dow catching up, maybe the NASDAQ flattening out for a while, and then reaccelerating maybe later in the year. I think I don't think anything, but I think the more reasonable outcome given the environment is, the NASDAQ has to give something back at a certain point. I mean, you just mentioned it before. It is overextended at levels we haven't seen in quite some time. And the optimism, I mean, stocks go up because they're open now in the NASDAQ. And that to me is a little dangerous.
And ultimately, though, this gets back to banks come next week. Can the rest of the market rally if banks are seemingly cratering? And they've underperformed by, 30% off of, off the highs to off the bottom. and the question I asked yesterday on Fast Money, we had John Roque, who's a well-known technical guy. I've known John for a long time. He does great work, and he put out a piece about Fonzie jumping the shark, and that effectively banks jumped the shark somewhere in the middle part of 2017 when they were almost 18% weighting in the S&P and have done nothing but go down since then. And he went on to just point out that in the last 30 years, in 9 of those years, banks finished negative on the year. What do you think the S&P did during those years?
Done all that well, but you're going to tell me otherwise, clearly.
It finished down. So 100%. Every time banks finished down, you saw the S&P finish down, and even Bag from the Demons on happy days would not be feeling too good about those numbers.
No,
so,
you know what? In terms of Fonzie jumping the shark, if you can just go back in time and remember that episode. So Fonzie is going to water ski and jump over a shark. The shark being in some sort of enclosement that they made in the middle of the ocean somewhere in California. But why given that death-defying stunt, did he feel it necessary to wear a life jacket? It makes absolutely no sense to me. I mean, it's just, if you're going to do that,
life jacket or a leather,
you got to ditch the life jacket.
Or a leather jacket, dude. Wasn't he wearing his leather?
He was wearing the life jacket over his leather jacket, which makes it even more ridiculous.
That's something I would expect out of Potsy, man. That's disappointing. But look, they didn't want a screenplay, and that was his way of giving the 1-2 to Hollywood. So Anne and Audrey Landers, remember them?
Sure.
Yeah, they were the something twins. Like it was some Midwestern Wisconsin-y, but they apparently, Fonz had the something twins.
Well, it's Arthur Fonzarelli. And tomorrow, I think on Friday's show, we should talk about the Odd Couple and the Pigeon Sisters, who dated both Felix and Oscar, if you're interested.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about the Malachi Crunch too, which I think a lot of people, every time we have days like this, think the banks are taking us down there. So look, this is the last day I have this head of hair in a long time.
Let's see what you got going under that Met hat or Ranger hat or whatever you have.
I'm gonna fully cousin it this one, and it's gonna go viral. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Wow.
Some wig, huh?
Wow. You got to tame. I mean, you got to tame that thing. I mean, that is fantastic.
It is. It's a lot of hair. It needs to get cut. With a little help from some gel and the home camera, no one's really known it was quite that bad, but they do now. And I'll see you tomorrow.
Later, dude.
Bye.